Good morning. My name is Rosa, and today I would like to talk to you a little bit more about my children's personality. And no, it's not just to focus on them and all of that. This is just some insight as to how I have been able to work on their personality without having to change their personality. Do you understand? Okay. So let me provide you with more details. My daughter, she is 3 years old. She is super mellow and she likes things done her way, and she is very strong and opinionated, and she will not be afraid to tell you no. She doesn't like outdoorsy stuff. She doesn't like to sweat. My son, on the other hand, he is very out there. He loves running around and getting sweaty, and he has this bubbly personality, and he loves helping and sharing. You're both very different, yet I love who they are for who they are in their own personality, and I will never want to change that. But the problem is that sometimes their personality can't affect the other. And what I mean by that is my son is so willing to help that sometimes he will enable my daughter by, for example, if I say, hey Nico, go and pick up these toys from over here, and Elena, you go and focus on the living room and you pick up all of your toys from over there. Nico will go and pick up all of the toys, no questions asked, right away, yes ma'am, and he will done. It's done. I don't have to worry about it, right? With Elena, it's more like, well, she got distracted. She started playing with something. Well, she found another box. Now it's all over the floor. So now there is a bigger mess. And I understand she's 3 years old. I'm not expecting her to be like her brother. And I will never compare them in that sense. But I do want her to learn how to pick up her toys. And the problem is when Nico is done picking up all of his toys, he will go and try to help her because he has a big heart. That's who he is. And he will not just do it for her, he will do it for anybody that is struggling or that he knows they need help. But my daughter, she's so smart. She has been able to pick up on that, and she has been like playing around and like, I know Nika's gonna come over here to my rescue, and then she will not do it. She will not pick up her toys. So now her motivation, her interest, her focus, all of that is gone. That's not her responsibility anymore. And that can become a problem later on, because I know that when somebody doesn't feel they have a responsibility, then they expect other people to take care of that. So if it's not Nico next time, then she's gonna expect me to do it. If it's not me, then she's gonna expect her father. And if it's not her father, then it's gonna be grandma, and so on and so forth. And I want her to be able to develop that skill and that mindset that you have your responsibilities and you have to take care of it. So even though she's 3 years old, she is ready for that. So what do? I don't go up to her and start yelling at her and say, hey, didn't I tell you to pick up your toys? I don't do that, although it has happened. But what I have noticed is that it is not her fault that her brother comes to the rescue. If anything, she sees that as a right moment. So what I try to do is that I took Nico out of the equation and I put him in the room and I said, hey Nico, why are you so good at playing soccer? And he will be like, oh, because I love it and my friends are there. And I'm like, yeah, but what about with math? Why are you so good at math? Oh, because I like it. And I said, yeah, you like it, and that's a great thing. But what do you do every day with soccer and math and video games and all of this other stuff that you like so much? Well, I do it every day. And I said, yeah, you do it every day. So if you do it every day, does that mean that you are practicing that? And he says, yeah, I practice. I need to practice. And I said, yeah, you need to practice because practice makes, right? So you become better. And he said, yeah. And I said, okay, so now let's focus on that. And let's go back to Elena. Can Elena be able to practice picking up her toys when you come and help her out? No, exactly. She won't be able to practice that. And then what happens if she doesn't practice that? Well, she's not going to learn exactly. She won't be able to learn that. And that's a very important skill because look how great you are at this. I want her to be just as great as doing at picking up her toys. So maybe when you are done playing with your toys, you could go and open up a puzzle and play with some puzzles, and you let Elena take care of that, not because you're a bad brother and you're not helping her, but because you are so awesome at letting her practice the things that she needs to get better at. And that kind of like clicked on him. And it made such a big difference that now he is able to step back a little bit, not in a way that is because mommy told me to back off because she doesn't like it when I do that. It has nothing to do with me, and it has nothing to do that nobody wants him to be taking the initiative and to be helpful. This is more about him understanding that we love his personality. We love it. We don't want him to change. We want him to continue being who he is. But what we really want is for him to use his personality in many areas, but when it comes to enabling people, maybe not so much. Maybe to step back a little. And that change in his mindset does not make him feel bad about himself. If anything, it empowers him to know that he can be extremely helpful both ways. He can help out when he needs to share and help out with his sister, and he can also is helping out when he's allowing her to take control and when he's allowing her to be able to practice, when he let her practice. So I just wanted to share this with so many parents because I know that in many situations, the big brother and the big sisters, they are so wonderful and they do help out a lot, or the opposite. And we don't want it to get to a point where one personality is affecting the other child's personality, and we don't want that to become to enable somebody else. So I hope that this little idea can help you if you're struggling with that. And if you have any questions, please feel free to send me a message. Have a great day.